us. Why? Why?
Hello everybody, and welcome to a rather random video actually. You might have noticed that I have got the illustrious Mr. Pidge with me. The rarest bird of all, Mr. Pidge. But yeah, so guys, you guys might have noticed recently that the internet, the wargaming community is abuzz with a topic. And it is quite a disturbing topic, really, I find. Something that Mr. Pidge is somewhat of an expert on, really. And basically, it's the whole end times Age of Sigmar 40k. Like, our Games Workshop going to be changing all the rules to Age of Sigmar, and is it going to happen, and what's going on? And basically, this has all started from a post on Bell of Lost Souls, and Bell of Lost Souls, it's gone downhill a little bit in recent years, but, and you know, there are articles like 2 words, or like 2 lines, which is a little bit on the shit side, but yeah, a couple of days ago, Bell of Lost Souls pointed out something that was like, all evidence supporting the fact that GW is going to Age of Sigmar 40k, which I thought was a little bit on the grim side. I was just like, why are you doing that? Why are you wrecking such a good game? But I'll just introduce Pidge's little thoughts on the topic. Pidge, am I right that you used to love fantasy?
Yeah.
Would you say it was your favourite game?
Yeah, definitely. Fantasy was my game. I love the universe. I've read several other books about the universe. I read all the Von Carstein trilogy because I played Vampire Counts. I played Chaos for about 8 years. I've had Orcs. I've got Bretonnians. I just loved everything about the lore, everything about the universe.
Well, the epic battles and the complexity as well. I remember just like, because that's the thing that used to drive me away from it, was the complexity, but you used to love the complexity of it.
Well, the issue that I have with 40k, even though I do like it aesthetically, is that sometimes if you bring the biggest guns, you've just won. Where in fantasy, sometimes you bring, like I always bring Chaos Hounds, which are shit, they're awful. But you use them to just get in the way of people.
Yeah,
so they have their
speed bumps.
Yeah, the speed bumps. Whereas 40k is just kind of like, you make a good list and you're going to do okay most of the time. But with Age of Sigmar,
phone's going
the thing I worried, it's probably mine. The thing, because I was talking to the manager of our local Games Workshop when they were announcing that they were going to change fantasy.
The crux of when things went bad.
Yeah, and I was really concerned that, because the new 40k had just come out and I'd seen the psychic phase, which completely broke the game.
Well, and it was an awful lot like Magic, wasn't it?
Yeah, and how much they'd simplified the psychic phase, and I was really hoping that they wouldn't do that to fantasy, because Magic was a massive thing. Like it was a whole extra level of the game. So my main concern was I was really, really worried. And then I started really thinking about it and mulling it over and was like, actually, I'll have some blind faith in them. Everything they've done in previous editions have improved the game. Some things have been a bit dodgy, but generally it's got better. So I resign myself to, as long as they don't mess up the Magic phase, I'll be happy with it. And then Age of Sigmar happened.
And how did when you first, because originally when it first came out, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a sick joke. I thought someone had falsified something and made it. When you found out that there's like a 4-page rule book, that you have to play charades, that you have to that you measure from the model, not the base, all that kind of shit. That made me feel a little bit gutted and a little bit pissed off, and like the rules really convoluted and just really crap, and no points cost as well. How do you play a game with no points cost? Well, how do you make it fair? It's ridiculous.
The first thing I saw of it was the picture of the front box, which is the Sigmarines and the Chaos. And the first thing I thought is, this isn't fantasy, this is 40k. You've just taken the guns off and given them hammers.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same... Like,
Sigmarines, everybody!
Aesthetically, fantasy was always normal high fantasy. Granted that the Orcs were definitely cartoony, but it was always typical, like, Lord of the Rings style fantasy.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas 40k is much more bulky. I designed everything by the Blizzard development team. Everything's bulky and big.
I have massive shoulder protection.
Though I was looking at the new models, I was like, okay, I'm just not interested in the Sigmarines, that's fine. But those Khorne guys could be cool to add to my army. But then I saw them in person and they're huge.
I've got to admit, I don't like the Sigmarines. I think they look a bit shitty.
But the problem I have is, like, some of the new Age of Sigmar Chaos stuff, begrudgingly, does look good.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it though, in regards to models and kits, I don't think. I mean, sometimes obviously it's certain aesthetic choices by Games Workshop. You can't really fault them, and most of the time they do produce good quality products. But it's the rules behind it that I think that pissed a lot of people off and drove so many people away. And it was the rules again that put a lot of people off being an early adopter. But I get it. Like I said, it's just really funny because every time someone mentions Age of Sigmar, you're like, fuck off. Fucking Age of Sigmar,
Just go down.
Fuck it in the arse.
But yeah, anyway.
And the rage has kept you warm at night ever since.
That badge. The point I'm trying to make is that the new models, though they may look nice and they're very different, I can't get them, regardless of how much I think they look nice, because they don't fit in with my army. They would look so out of place. But then we got to the rules.
The rules!
All 3 of them.
Yes!
So
it's 4.
So before I'd even seen the rules,
4 pages.
I heard about the Mask of Slanesh. Because obviously, as a Chaos player, I instantly went to the Chaos stuff. The Mask of Slanesh, the whole, if you dance, you get rerolls. If you make them dance, they get rerolls. And I was like, well, that's just ridiculous.
I mean, there's having a bit of fun, and then there's looking stupid. My argument was, people are going to be walking past Games Workshop windows and see people doing stupid stuff, looking like retards. Their son or daughter or whoever, looking into it, is just going to look and go, what are they doing? And the parents are like, oh no, that's a silly place. It's a silly place.
I mean, the parallel to this is that people are like, well, with orcs you do a wah. But nowhere in the rules does it say scream like an orc.
No, it doesn't.
It's called a wah. It's just flavour.
You just do it.
But then I saw the Kurt Hellborg. Have you seen the Kurt Hellborg one?
Is it the one with the moustache?
Yeah.
If you have a
better moustache than your opponent, that's just blatantly sexist.
It's ridiculous. Oh god, and people are just gonna be like bringing like fake moustaches and stuff to get it. Bottom line is those kind of rules, they're silly. I think personally they were trying to nod to like some of the older rules and stuff, but I think they went a little bit too OTT with it, a bit too over the top.
The reason it worked with the older rules is because it had a strong foundation and this is how the game is, and then it's a little sprinkle of silly on top.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just full on like fucking
steaming pile of dog shit,
wacky, crazy, like flying glitter crap,
unicorn vomiting rainbows.
Yeah, but anyway. So the rules were stupidly simplified. I know that people see depth in there. Personally, I don't. Sorry, Andy 2D6. The game was designed for people who don't care about rules.
Yeah.
The game was specifically designed for people who will look at the rulebook, skim through it once,
casual gamers can play.
Yeah, but the thing is, just before Age of Sigmar came out, obviously the End Times was a huge thing, and it had these like 5 £40 books that now are useless. But just before that had done, they'd done all the the standalone 40k stuff, like they did the Assassins one.
Yeah, the box game.
Yeah, and they've done the individual box.
Betrayal of Calth and stuff.
So when I saw Age of Sigmar, I was like, oh, maybe it's just like halfway for the new thing.
This is what I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a standalone box game that is a separate game world. And I think that GW personally should have kept it like that to test the waters before just abolishing all the law. Because with me, what gets me, rules and stuff, I don't really play too many games. I'm not too fussed about the rules. I've got my opinions on them, but they're very weak opinions. Model-wise, I don't like models. The thing that gets me is when they just destroy lore.
Yeah.
Like, they've got all these... How many years? Like, over 25 years of accumulated lore. It's over 2 decades of accumulated lore for a system. And then they just have full-on destroyed it.
Well, fantasy...
It's crazy.
Fantasy was their, flagship game. Like, without fantasy, there wouldn't be a 40k. There wouldn't be anything else.
Exactly. And then, obviously, 40k overtook it.
Slate, haven't you?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So moving on to the whole, will they Age of Sigmar 40k? We rambled a bit about Age of Sigmar, maybe for a little bit too long.
Sorry.
It's absolutely fine, opinions is opinions, and we have them. But let's talk about going into 40k. Again, as I just said, I'm not really, I'll be a little bit annoyed that they change all the rules to Age of Sigmar because I've just kind of started getting into gaming. I don't have too many games very often, but when me, Andy, John and Tom get together, it's a great old time. Now, it's just going to be silly. The main thing is, the main bugbear that I have is if they get rid of the points cost with 40k. If they do that, it will be so one-sided, because I'll just go, right, that's fine, I will bring my entire... I've got 3,500 points of orcs. I'll just bring that to every game and wipe the floor of everybody. No one will have a fucking chance.
Let me bring my removal band down the street so I can get my army.
Yeah. Or I will just quickly knock together like 8 stompers and just paint them up to a mediocre standard and just go, boom, I've got 8 stompers. Go fuck yourself, you're dead. It's just that's going to annoy me slightly, but if they get rid of the lore and stuff for 40k, and granted, I acknowledge that stuff has to move on, but I don't know, it's something that just resonates with me, the 40k lore, the fact that it's so in-depth, it's so detailed. I would like to think that I know quite a lot about the lore behind 40k, but realistically, I've barely scratched the surface with a lot of the stuff. I've kind of read synopses of the rules, not the rules, of the lore and stuff, to get a vague idea of the background. But if they start changing stuff like if they get rid of Slaanesh, if they kill off certain character, I'm going to be just really fucking gutted. Like, if the alliances, right, okay, I read something a while ago that a couple of days ago, someone said that certain factions are going to be, going to ally, the Mechanicus is going to ally with Dark Eldar to help fix it. That's fucking heretical! That is the crux of what the fucking Imperium of Man is built on!
Dark Eldar don't use metal.
No, they
They have bone, don't they?
No, that's Eldar. Eldar use
right.
Wraithbone. Dark Eldar don't have access to Wraithbone because they ignore everything that's warp related because they're scared of Slaanesh, which they should be. Because he's going to come and rape them in their little Eldar bumholes. But anyway, so the thing is, they're going to be like, oh great, so the Mechanicus have allied with Dark Eldar to fix the Golden Throne. That would mean that the whole of the Mechanicum is heretical, which means that the Imperium of Man would have to completely eject them from it and destroy them, which would then mean that the whole Imperium would fall apart, because the backbone of the Imperium of Man is the tech priesthood of Mars. And it's that kind of shit that's just stupid to do.
So I don't think it'll happen. However, I do think they will make changes. The reasons I can support it not happening is, the reason it happened to fantasy is because from Games Workshop's perspective, fantasy was a failing game.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't as becoming as popular.
The tournament scene wasn't very big. People weren't playing the game. It cost a lot to get into. People weren't willing to do it. There wasn't as much miniature support. Like, think how much 40k comes out. Think how much fantasy comes out. Warhammer Forge didn't really do very well on Forge World.
No idea. That kind of just like dwindled and just died.
So everything fantasy related it was just left. Nobody really cared about it.
Yeah, but the hardcore players loved it still.
Obviously we didn't, and there's players much older than me who've been playing for much longer who I feel very sorry for.
Yeah, totally.
But 40k, I mean, think how long it's been before Age of Sigmar that a fantasy codex was released.
Very true. Very, very true. With 40k as well, 40k is Games Workshop's biggest cash cow. It's their biggest source of revenue. Why would they sabotage it?
The Eldar, the Imperial Knights, etc., the Space Marines, they've redone those codexes like every year.
Yeah.
You can't bring out a new codex every year, expecting to buy it, and then go, oh dear, none of those rules exist.
Not to mention the amount of money it must cost to get the thing published.
Yeah. But I reckon at some point, don't think too soon, they will have
an event.
They'll have an event, which I assume will be the Emperor's Revival.
Well, this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing that started it. With there's leaked pictures of the Wolfen and stuff that's come out. And this is the whole thing. They're like, well, why? Everyone's saying, well, why are the Wolfen suddenly coming out and sorting and helping out in the 41st, outside of the Eye of Terror, if the Wolf time, the end time, isn't coming? This is where I think it's. What I think personally, I think it's fear mongering by Bell of Lost Souls in order to just cause some ruckus and to just stir up the community a little bit, which it could be, and it probably is.
But I also think that's a good way to get people to think about why they don't want that, and then they can convey that back to Games Workshop. Listen, I don't bloody know.
No, I don't think they do. The focus group seems to be non-existent. Really.
People thinking about, well, it's focused towards 12-year-olds, isn't it?
Now it is, yeah.
But yeah, getting people to think about what you don't want changed, that's my phone, what you don't want changed,
Phone's going off,
what you like about your system, kind of gives you direction in where you want it to go.
Yeah.
But I think something will happen. I think the Emperor will come back, they'll bring out a way to use maybe the Primarchs in 40k.
Yeah, possibly. This is another thing that I was reading on a little while ago. Obviously, if you try and bring, obviously, you've got some of the Primarchs that are still alive. You've got Lionel Johnson, who is asleep in the Rock, obviously what used to be Caliban. You've got, what is it? Is it Robo Gulliman, or the Imperial Fist guy that's like in stasis?
Isn't Gilliman
Gilliman's the Ultramarines.
Ultramarines, yeah.
But one of the Primarchs that's in stasis. I'm not sure. I'm not too savvy with the Primarchs. But you got Lehman Russ, he's not been said that he's dead, but we might get more information with this Wolfen codex that comes out. Little tidbits of what's going on there. But then you've also got the Demon Primarchs, Mortarion. You've got Vulgrim. You've got all those other ones. Also, it would be great to see models of them come out, and you could use them like obviously they do in the 30k stuff, and that'd be brilliant. They'd be ultimate super beast, ultra heroic models. They'd be fantastic. Well, so sometimes it's a good thing, but if they just go the whole way of Age of Sigmar, it's just going to
let's think about the downsides of doing it to Age of Sigmar. One, your tournament scene is dead.
Yes.
Which is massive.
It becomes completely unfair.
Your tournament scene. Like, so think about the kind of buyers the Games Workshop have. They have the mums who are coming in and buying Christmas presents.
Yep.
They have the casual gamers who get what they think is cool.
Yep.
And then they have the tournament players who by far spend the most money.
100%.
Because they keep bringing new stuff out, which is always better.
Yeah.
If they kill their tournament scene, they kill like 60-70% of profits.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. They're not going to take that risk. It wasn't that much of a risk with Fantasy. In Fantasy, they were happy to take their sales off the tournament players who weren't spending that much because they've been playing for so long and have these fast collections, and give it to the casual buyers. That was the goal. With 40k, they will not do that because they will lose so much profit. However, the counter to this is that tournament scene is struggling to keep up with all of these new rules. They can't do it. Just think how many data slates are out that aren't part of your codexes. You have to go and find those.
Oh yes, I mean some of them are printed in White Dwarf, and I personally don't like White Dwarf, so I'll never have access to these data
There was that
slates.
ridiculous Ultramarines one that came out, which was like it was like a drop pod with a Devastator squad and a Assault Marine squad. But when you do it, your Assault Marines get like all these ridiculous abilities. But it's not in the codex. It was like a PDF on the website that they took down like a month after they came out.
It's really silly how they do stuff.
How are you going to do that? And then there's all these. So your base codex, you've got your expansion board like the Leviathan, or your supplement, and then you have the little mini campaign books like the Orc and Blood Angels one, etc. Which I think this new 13th Company one will be. They've basically said it's going to be a campaign. And then you've got that, and then you've got these random like formations that are just out there,
just floating around.
And then you've got things like the fortifications, you know, like the turrets and stuff.
I don't even know where you find the rules for them.
They're in the box.
It's ridiculous.
They come with the thing.
That's mental. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know. There's all kinds of stuff that I wish I know where stuff
all
is.
These different levels of things you have to remember. And in order to play tournament properly, you need to know what your opponent's units can do, so you can counter them. It must be insane to try and keep up with all of that.
I think that's why a lot of tournament stuff, from what I gather, they do have you can't use this, you can't use these, you can't use that. It's literally just the core rules or expansions.
As far as I understand it, it's just you can't use Unbound, or you can only have one force org. You know, the way you can take multiple forces.
Shows how much I know.
But I think they do just let you use all the formations and stuff as long as you stick to one force org. But I don't know what I was going to say now.
Sorry, one of the things that I was thinking about before, literally this morning before coming around so we could film this, was what if there is some truth to it? What if GW is planning on doing it? But here's another little thing that I think they are about to relaunch specialist games. They're about to relaunch Necromunda. Probably going to do Gorka Morka. They're going to do Battlefleet Gothic.
They're definitely doing Blood Bowl.
They're 100% doing Blood Bowl.
But it's not till next year.
Now, what if they are doing this because they know that what they are about to do is going to lose them a chunk of revenue? What if they're doing this to claw back some of the revenue that the people that love those specialist games used to spend? You know, people used to. I know people that used to play Battlefleet Gothic. We used to play Inquisitor. I used to fucking love Inquisitor. You know, and they're just like
D&D.
Yeah, which they obviously phase all the models out for them. What if they're bringing this stuff back to claw back some revenue from what they're about to lose?
Well,
That is my thing. What if they're about to do it, but they're doing this because
possibly
they know?
But I think the reason that they're doing the specialist games is because of the success of Spacewalk.
Yes, yes.
A lot of people, they made a lot of profit from Spacewalk because people got it not only for what was happening but for the miniatures.
Yeah.
And I don't think it costs Games Workshop a lot of time and effort to republish a single box set and
Probably doesn't take better.
give me a one-off payment of £60.
Yeah.
You have a box game.
I mean, you could probably say, you know, get a design team of like 3 people. Right, okay, guys, just here's what we've got now. Make it look pretty and new. Push it out.
3 more people than Age of Sigmar had.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's to a consumer, it's great because you go, oh, I remember Blood Bowl. That was really fun.
Yeah.
60 quid. Yeah. That's a third of the price of a new army. Yeah, sure. Do you want to go halves? We'll get that.
Yeah, fantastic.
And Games Workshop is like great. Like 3-month development of a game. Give me 60 quid per person. It's great.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a cash injection.
I think it's more of a here's a lump sum of profit. And it's out there. I don't think it will considerably interfere with 40k. I don't think there's going to be that much of a tie-in with 40k.
There's another thing I think that they bring about the specialist game as well, is that I think that they're doing it because they realise they lost a lot of people, more than they anticipated with Age of Sigmar coming out. So they went, oh shit, we've done a bit of a mistake here. Let's relaunch this so we claw some revenue back. That's what I think as well. What they did.
I think they're digging a hole with Age of Sigmar.
I
think they should have released the box set, saw that it was really badly received, and then backed out.
But this is the thing, people are saying that Games Workshop saying that it's, like, this is the thing, no one knows properly whether or not the figures and stuff that Games Workshop are saying are true. Because, you know, I don't know a lot of people that like Age of Sigmar. And I'm thinking, but how come Games Workshop are saying, oh yeah, it's doing really, really well? Either they're just blinkering themselves to the fact that it's doing shit, and they've put so much money into redesigning it that they're like, we have to make this work, no matter the cost, because we've spent far too much money making a game that nobody likes, and we need to make it work somehow.
I see extremely little evidence that it's doing well.
Same here.
With the exception of watching Andy 2D6's videos, I have seen nothing positive about Age of Sigmar. Ever.
I agree. But I mean, with the whole 40k'ing of Age of Sigmar, going back to that, we kind of went off topic a little bit to specialist games. I personally will not like it on a lore perspective, just because, like I say, they've destroyed all that stuff, all that information, all that lore. They've retconned. I'm not going to be as bad if they don't. If they retcon stuff, I will be fucking furious. I will go and do up that. Apparently, there was a guy when Age of Sigmar came out that flipped a gaming table in Warhammer World. Yeah. I will be that guy.
There was a guy who was forcibly removed, yeah.
I will go in there with a fucking dynamite vest and I will fucking just blow the place to smithereens.
The thing is, with the lore of Age of Sigmar, they haven't said that none of this happened. They've just said that world's gone.
Yeah.
And now it's all these pocket dimensions. With 40k, I don't think you need to do that.
But you couldn't do it with 40k.
You don't need to, because you already have pocket dimensions in the different planets.
Yeah.
It's the same principle.
Yeah.
So you don't need to. All you need to do is go, here is a Horizon event. Here is the return of the Emperor, the return of Horus, and everything is going to change.
It could go really well. It could go amazingly.
I think it will be more, the Age of Darkness is behind us. None of that matters anymore. Here is our bright new horizon of the hope for humanity is back. And there'll be some like dark secrets involved in that as well. But it'll be the yin and yang. You can't have the light without the dark.
Yeah,
so all the demon primates will come back, and Horus will come back, and it'll be this good clash of good and evil, and everybody else will get mixed up.
Yeah, I think that where there's a little snippet that has been translated from German, so the translation could be wrong, but it's all about. A being in golden armour appears before the Emperor who sat on the golden throne. Obviously, the Emperor at the moment is just a fucking skeleton in a suit of armour sat on the golden throne. And everyone's kind of reading in a little bit deeply. They think that this is Sigmar. They think that there's another theory out there that supports them merging 40k with Age of Sigmar, which would be such a clusterfuck. It would be so bad.
No chance.
It would be fucking ridiculous. Can you imagine, like, fucking...
Why would they do that?
The Orcs would win. The Orcs would go, oh, hey look, there's these things called Uruks. Fucking Uruks. Oh my god, someone on one of the forums pronounced it as Uruk the other day, and I was like, no, they're fucking Orcs. It's spelled with a C, it's spelled with a K, that is it. And I got really pissed off. But
the Lizard Man one's the worst one.
Oh, they all just fucked off in their spaceships.
No, they stopped being called lizardmen and became surfeners.
Oh, it's so fucking bullshit. But if that happened, if the Age of Sigmar universe combined with 40k, the orcs win, because the orcs would go, oh hey look, here's this higher realm of orcs. Here you go lads, here's a shooter. You don't need to know how it works, just know that it does. And they just wipe everything out. It'd be so fucking stupid.
You know what you do is you look at the Age of Sigmar rules and you go, a grot.
Oh yeah, Grot versus a fucking demon prince.
Oh wait a minute, you have a rule that says I just roll X to wound, regardless of what it's on. Here are my 2,000 grots. I need 5s to wound. Here are 2,000 dice. Statistically, whatever I'm attacking is dead.
Yeah. You know, here's a fucking demon lord. Demon lord that used to be worth like 800 points. Here's a grot that's worth
3.
3-point grot. You know, it's bonkers. It's utter bullshit if they did something like that.
I don't see how they could combine fantasy and 40k, but if I do, I think it would be
It's not fantasy anymore.
Ooh, no, it is.
Oh.
Fuck off.
Age of Sigmar, get it right.
No, I refuse. But
the rage, I can feel the rage emanating off him.
The only argument I could ever see for combining fantasy and 40k, which I don't think would happen because I think that would be ridiculous, is War Machine and Hordes are technically 2 separate games with the same rule system.
Yes.
So you can play a Hordes faction against the War Machines faction.
Mm-hmm.
So if they went along the kind of Age of Sigmar and 40k, this is the same-ish rules, you could get a player that only plays fantasy and get him into 40k. You know, a player that's only got 40k and get him into fantasy. Mm. And you marginally out your sales because the 40k player goes, oh my god, a giant, and then buys a giant.
Yeah. But at the same time, you go, here's a Terminator. You got a fucking Empire Pikeman. Who's gonna win? Probably the Pikeman if it's Age of Sigmar rules. But
I doubt it'll happen.
I think bottom line is, it's fear-mongering by Bell of Lost Souls. I don't think that they will do the same treatment that they did to Fantasy with 40k. It would be commercial suicide for Games Workshop to do that. It would be really, really silly, and they would just have thousands of angry nerds just setting fire to stores. You know, the people would, because there's the slightly unhinged and slightly unstable people such as myself might take it a little bit too far. You know, people would form lynch mobs and lynch GW staff members in the streets. It would be utter anarchy.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault. I just work for the company. Ah! Kill him now, but blood for the blood god. Oh no, Scotty can't have that. Oh, they decided to kill off Paul.
Ash. What's about to happen?
But no, the bottom line is, I don't think they're going to do it. I think it's fear-mongering. I think people are getting a little bit too excited about this whole thing. In truth, we won't know until it happens. But I don't think they'll do it. Why? If I was a company, and you know, I mean, unless the fucking head honcho, the guy that's in charge of Games Workshop at the very top, unless he is sat in some ivory tower somewhere, completely ignorant to all the fans of his product, which I highly, in this day and age, it's impossible for you not to be informed about what's going on. You have this thing called the fucking internet. I don't think, if I was him, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, let's change it. I don't want all this money. Fuck it. Let's just piss everybody off and make people not buy them. I'll be like, let's pander to the fans. Let's make them want to buy stuff. Let's make them want to get into it, you know. I wouldn't do what they've done with Age of Sigmar with 40k because that would just wipe out any bit of cash that they would have.
I think ultimately, when a change to the rules is made, it will be a simplification of 40k. I don't think it will be anywhere near a simplification to the level of Age of Sigmar. I'm pretty sure you will still have rules. I'm pretty sure you will still have points.
The point is,
I think those rules
essential, the point
will
system.
be somewhere near what the Lord of the Rings system was. Which is, you have a movement phase.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
No, wait. You have a movement phase. All you have is a movement phase, a shooting phase, and a combat phase, which is like the old one.
Yeah.
But one thing Age of Sigmar has in common with that is that any special ability that somebody has that before would be considered as a spell. And one thing I really don't like about 40k is the new doctrines thing.
Doctrine?
The whole Ultramarines get like a assault doctrine and a tactical doctrine.
Oh, I don't even know about that kind of shit.
Well, the Mechanicus have the same thing, don't they?
Oh, you mean the protocols? The protocols and the imperatives.
It's just another layer of shit to remember. But with the Hobbit and Age of Sigmar, one thing I do like is you have a hero phase. So at the beginning of your turn, a hero goes, I will use this one of my 4 abilities, and he boosts everybody around in your turn. I think that would be a very elegant solution to the complexity of, you have Rage, you have Furious Charge, you have Counter-Strike, you have all of these massive multitude of rules.
It is crazy the amount of rules at the moment. I mean, myself, I've got a little encyclopedia of rules on my phone.
Is there enough memory on there?
Eh?
Is there enough memory to get?
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's great because I can search it. I can search the rule that I'm after, and boom, it shows up. So, but it's just crazy that I have to carry around that and you know, there's so many rules that I can't learn. I think a simplification would be good, but nowhere near along the lines of Age of Sigmar. That would be stupid.
I can imagine upon the Emperor's return, there will be an overhaul of the rules, and they will be simple, but hopefully elegant and still deep.
Yeah,
that is what I would hope for.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the rage is gone. Anyway, guys, so this has been a bit of a long rant. How long has it been? It's been a half an hour ramble. It's not too bad. It's within the realms of what
I've
the
seen you
rambles
rant about less important things for
like
time.
45 minutes to an hour, totally. But anyway, guys, so what do you think is going on? What do you think is going to happen to 40k? Let's get some debates and let's get some rage out and let's just have a good old fucking fight down in the comments. What do you think is going to happen? Leave a comment down below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe if you're first time you're watching anything on Dance to the Wolf Time. And yeah, we'll see you guys again. See you now and goodbye.